Black with No Cream podcast, guys. It's a Patreon only episode. You know what that means? This episode's only for you. By Dave and Ben. Today we are going to talk to y'all about, we want to call it strengthen your inner circle. I think this is brought to you by the Patreon members, because James Hardman made a post the other day tagging Atmosphere. Atmosphere. He tagged the Atmosphere and said, "Remember 4 months ago when I told you I was going to check up on you to see if you were hitting the what is that shit?
Your Bastille goal.
Your Bastille goal? What the fuck does Bastille mean? Is that like a monument?
I don't know. We should read about it.
Yeah, we don't know what that means. But anyway, you said, you remember when you wanted to hit that goal?
Oh, Bastille's an artist.
Oh, it's an artist. All right. Remember when you wanted to hit that goal? Well, here I am. Where are you at with it? And he like shared a screenshot from 4 months prior saying, I'm going to touch base with you. I'm going to save it in my calendar so I can, because this dude made that a goal, I guess, in Patreon. And he was following up with them, which was fucking tight. And I think that, I don't know, reading that got me mad, Jack, because to me it's like they don't know each other like that. He doesn't have to be looking out for him. And you made a great point. It's like if Atmosphere, whatever your real name is, if he would have just said in his head, I want to work with Bastilles in 4 months. Like, that's one thing. But then if 4 months comes around, you haven't done it, you're just like, whatever. But if you know you have someone holding you accountable that's literally saving a date in their calendar, is going to check in on you, and you're going to feel like you're letting someone down. Like, you're going to feel like you've let yourself down because you never finished out that goal or saw that goal through or tried to get close to competing with that goal. And now you have someone that's literally holding you accountable. And I think that shit's so dope and got me inspired as fuck that Black with No Cream members be doing that shit for each other, because it's like, it's just a community with people all over the place. You never know who's doing what or where they're at. But like that was fucking tight to me. And I think it's like the same thing as like, you get a personal trainer. And it's like that you pay that person. So it's one thing, you're giving them money.
It's the same thing.
But then you feel bad when they're there at the gym and you're not. Right. You know what I mean?
Like you know they're going to be there, and you know what I mean? So like if you don't, not only, you can't just not go there and let yourself down, you're letting that person down and you're spending money. So it's double accountability.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what personal training, you pay. So not only are you sinking money, like now I have to go because I paid money, but also there's someone there like forcing me to be there. You know what I mean? And are we going to roll the intro, or are we going to
no, I skipped it. My bad.
Okay.
No intro, my bad. Just I want to get into it because I think it's like, I think this is so key to develop people. Like I felt like I've always had people around me that hold me accountable to shit. You know what I mean? They might not just be like, hey, did you finish that project or whatever? Like that might not be a main concern for them on the immediate shit, but it's like I've always put people around me that want to see me succeed and will push me to do so, right? I do not want the opposite of that around me. Like,
right. But I feel like it's we're lucky in that we've, knowing you and me, like we both had that, but I feel like not everyone is lucky like that.
That's what I was going to go to next. Yeah.
Go.
Well, just because you're right. Like some people, I've seen those messages pop up in the Facebook group. Like one kid, I don't remember if maybe he's still not in Black with No Cream, but I remember he would always share these stories about how he had literally no one in the surrounding area of where he lived that saw creative visions like he did, and he wanted to create so bad, and it like put him in depression to watch people create in the community because he couldn't do it at that caliber or didn't have the opportunity to create with people like that, and it bugged him, and he would always just be bummed about it. But I'm like, yo, what's tight is you have this shit. You know what I mean? You do have a community. It might not be physically there, but you could really develop relationships with people that could build your circle. You know what I mean? Like that's what's cool about Black with No Cream is you have that. But I get it. Like a lot of people might not have access or feel comfortable enough to say certain things like that. But I don't know. I think sorry.
You know the saying, it's like you're the average of the 10 people you spend the most time with.
Yes.
And that shit's so powerful. And I remember thinking like, so maybe I didn't have that when I was in Texas, but like what I realized was like, not only is it people, but it's like the information you take in, right? So if you're if you're taking in information that's inspiring you, motivating you, you're going to be a motivated, inspiring person. Right. So it's like, even if you don't have people, it's like, what are you consuming, you're listening to Black with No Cream every episode that comes out, and you're constantly listening to people who made it. Like, I would religiously listen to this podcast. I still do, but like, religiously listen to it because it's like every week you're getting your story of someone else who made it, who's doing what you do, and then you can do it too. You know what I mean? And it's like, so if there's not, you don't have the homies around you who are gonna like help you get there, then at least like fix the content and the stuff that you're ingesting. Because I feel like, imagine this scenario: you know, we talk about all the time, there's a lot of creators who, you know, work a day job or they work something else, and they know they want to create content full time at some point, and they're having to like work during the day and somehow find extra time after work when they're beat or on the weekends to create so that they can somehow make money to get there, right? And it's like, so all your homies on Friday night are like, yo, let's get fucked up. Like, who's going out to the bars? And then you're like, man, you know what? I'm supposed to edit tonight. And like, nah, fuck that. Just come on with us. Like, who cares? You don't need
wrong
that.
person. You want
that person brings you down. That person doesn't help you get to your goals, right? And if you have 5 of those friends, the homies text you on Saturday, yo, you know, let's go out and do this, like this party's happening, and you're like, no, I actually have to finish this project. It's like, no, come on, man, who gives a fuck, you know? Which, you know, sometimes you don't have to always be working, but those people are not helping you get to where you're going, right? So that's where your inner circle comes in, because those are your influences. If you're trying to work double time, but all your homies are always hitting you, like, and they don't respect your goals, then like they're not holding you accountable. And if you don't follow through, like they don't care because they're hanging out with you, which may not be a negative thing. Like they're trying not to make you not reach your goals. But if you have people who like inspire you to be greater, and also like they're doing stuff, so you feel like if you don't, like you're slacking, which I feel like you do for me, and I do for you. Like if I'm at the gym Monday to Thursday, and you're like sleeping in at 10, and you hit me and you're like, yo, what's up? And I'm like, I just hit the gym. You're gonna feel like, man, I slacked today. The same way when you wake up at 6 a.m. and I wake up at 8, I feel like I'm inspired by you. It's like I'm not going hard enough. You know what I mean? Because I have you in my inner circle to like push me. Which is like important.
It's like a race, not a race like literal, but like you want to be the fastest person, right? Like, so you're putting yourself around other fast people. You want to be able to run at the top speeds and do all this shit. So why would you surround yourself with someone that's walking? You know what I mean? Like,
you're not keeping pace with like you're not gonna be at a PR about like keeping pace with someone who's walking. You want to run laps around those motherfuckers. Like that's the whole point. Is like, I don't know. I remember like a certain point, maybe in high school, and the people I would hang out with at the time. Not even like junior high. Junior high was probably where I started to find my real peer group. You know what I mean? And I remember like in junior high, I had my friends, and they were like the cool kids, and they're the people you wanted to fuck with. And like, so I was friends with all them. And then like people started going partying and doing all this shit, and I wasn't really with that, because I had already started to dabble like music and like other experiential type shit. Like, and I remember them like going to these parties, and then it would be like the same thing. It was always about like who had the illest parties, or who was like fucking the chicks and doing all this shit. And it was just like this like superficial game that I saw right through right away. And I was just like, you know what I mean? And I remember like I would try to dress like them and wear the right clothes and like beg my mom for this certain shoes or whatever it would be. And then none of that shit mattered. You know what I mean? Because everyone can get that shit. Everyone can get whatever you have. You know what I mean? That's not anything new. You're not cooler for that. You just get to be like part of a conversation. And then I started like stepping away from that and starting to find other people that figured out like that knew there was more shit we could do on a weekend than that. And that shit accumulated to me having experience. And those experiences are things that I can dabble in all day long and utilize my art every single day. Whether I knew I was doing that or not at the time, that's when I realized, oh shit, like this is where I should be taking this at. This is like the people that are around me. We would go to shows, and those people would have my back if some shit went down. But my friends that I grew up with and did the sleepovers with, and like, you know what I mean? Like played on the sports teams with and shit, they weren't fucking going out of their way to like for real, if I had to get into some shit with someone, those people were not having my back. They weren't. And those are the people I don't fucking hang out with anymore. Those are people I don't think about anymore. And that's tight, because the people I do think about are the people I've been really fucking with since that time period when I switched. And I'm like, oh, there's a group of people that really give a shit about dumb shit. You
You know what I mean? There's people that are going to follow that. And those are the people that can ride the wave. They're just going to ride that wave all the way till they have their little minions. And those motherfuckers are riding the wave too, because they're caught in that little system. And I don't want to be a part of that shit. And I'm going to go fucking try to do the thing where the cool surfers dip under the wave and figure out how to get out farther or whatever and get away from this shit, because I don't want that.
Right.
I don't want to be that. And it's crazy when I like going home. It's like you see that shit. Like, you see people who rode the wave and they're just rocking it out, and it might be the picture perfect life per se, but to step away and find myself always kind of having to go upstream and figure out how to like survive, you know what I mean? Because I didn't take the easy route out, in my opinion, is more fulfilling to me. And then to have the only way to do that is to have the right inner circle, or whatever you want to call it, squad, my crew that I could depend on to hold me accountable to like what I cared about, for us to go and have conversations because we like the same shit. Like, I can't imagine being in a world where I cannot have like call someone real quick and just talk about fucking nerdy video shit or music, or someone who's down to just hop in a van and drive 20 hours to some other part of the US for a show or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, if I didn't do any of that, I wouldn't be the explorer, the person that's down to fucking stay up all night to get some shit done. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
none of that shit would have happened. It's crazy to think about that shit.
Yeah, definitely.
It's so weird.
I think, yeah, successful people hang out with successful people.
Right.
And but it's like also, it's like the energy rubs off on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It comes down to that. I feel like it's like you want,
Sorry,
and I feel like
choking.
if you don't have, that's why it's cool. Like if you know there's creatives in your area, like DM them, reach out to them, like meet for coffee. Like that becomes someone that you could like send a project to, or send a video to, or a photo, or a design, or whatever, and be like, what do you think about this? And someone that's going to be commenting on your stuff and giving you feedback and like
give you jobs.
Yeah, help you get jobs. You can put them on, they can put you on. Like that's just important. If you don't have it in your, if you're not, because like my friends aren't creatives, right?
Right.
They all do their own stuff, but all of us like strive to be great. So it's like, the cool thing is when I told them, yo, I'm doing this, like they were never the people that's like, he's like, they never gave me that energy. They always gave me the energy like, oh, he's gonna make it, all this stuff. And so when your friends give you that, like I had an obligation. I mean, my parents gave me that too. That's lucky. It's like your parents give that energy too, where it's like they're pushing you towards what you want to do.
Like it doesn't have to necessarily be like, if you want to be a director, it doesn't have to be just director homies. Like the fact that your parents are an energy source. Right. Your friends could be sitting here doing fucking accounting and shit or whatever, and you be like getting the energy from those people. You know what I mean? And
but like they're like balling. They got they're on a different level, and they're getting their own house, or they're getting their cars, or they're investing, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? And that inspires me in a different way, because it's like they're not bringing me down. You know? But I feel like one thing we talked about, we didn't really get into it, is the idea of like, personally, when you have goals or like aspirations or things you're trying to accomplish, and the difference between just internalizing it and telling yourself, there's one thing to tell it in your head. There's another thing to like write it down and look at it personally, which we always recommend to do, because it's like, that's a place to put it, and you're challenging yourself. But also like, it's so easy to just like let go of something that you didn't accomplish. Like
that kid at the beginning. Like if he would have just been like, I want to shoot for this person, and just put it on a piece of paper, and then let that piece of paper get piled up on by other papers, and then you one day are sick of your desk looking cluttered, so you throw a bunch of shit away, and that's like one of the low level shit, so you just toss it, and then that idea is gone, right? Like then you have James, who went out of his way to save it on his own calendar to remember, yo, homie, I don't know you, but we all fuck with each other because we're a part of this community. Like, I got your back. I'm going to remind you, did you do this? If you haven't yet, let's set a new goal. Let's figure out how to get you there. You know what I mean? Like, that's the people, like, those are people you want around you.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
Hands the fuck down. You know what I mean? Even it's like, even if they don't have any interest in what you do, like, I have our group chat for these are all my best friends since forever. Like, I have a homie that runs like a successful plumbing business. and I could be talking to him about business shit all day long, and it's still parallel. It doesn't matter. We're both championing each other to be able to have the most successful versions of our businesses. But you know what I mean? But he doesn't know anything about fucking set, what it's like to be on set, and I don't know shit about fucking getting shit out of a toilet or putting in a new sink or whatever the fuck. Like, I don't know. So, but it doesn't matter. That's not the part that matters. It's the fact that you connect on something. Like, if you can find a mutual agreement of like, we're both obsessed with something and that love is very similar. Like, we can riff on that shit all day long. Like, that's the, like, it's funny how many times I find myself calling like different people for different conversations. Like, I might call this person because I know the conversation we'll have will be great about this. And I know I can lean on this person to have this conversation about some other shit that we just talk about love. Or Facts. This person I could talk about fucking
this person's really gonna get nerdy with you and talk like, you know what I mean? Like I got a homie that if I hit him up with some like existential shit, like if we really want to talk about humans and like space or like the earth. You know what I mean? Like he likes that. He likes that too, and you know what I mean. We really have a deep connection. But this other homie doesn't like that. But me and him really connect on sports. Yeah,
sports all day. Or you want to go learn about surfing, and you know this person's gonna do it. You go have a fucking fire day. Right. Learn how to surf for the first time with your friend who you might not talk to that much or whatever, but you know you can lean on them, and they can lean on you for fucking whatever the return is. But regardless, it's just having the ability to build that is so crucial. Everyone should try and build a team, not only for dependence, like to be able to lean on them but that's feedback, that's opportunity, that's delegating. You know what I mean? These are all crucial things. Like we talk about all the time. Like Black with No Cream was me sitting in my house trying to make a podcast, start a Facebook group, and then I knew I was way over my head and I wasn't gonna be able to make this shit grow any bigger if I didn't get help. I got help. You helped me. Then we started growing it more, and we realized we need more hands on deck because we're too busy with other shit. We're trying to make this thing bigger, so we get more help, and we get more people. Like then we have people helping us with all kinds of different shit. Where these dudes will sit here and do whatever. Like, yo, literally, the guest is coming to do an interview, and I don't have time to like clean the shit, and both of them are already in the bathroom, like scrubbing out the cups real quick before a podcast guest shows up, and we have clean cups, and I didn't have to like go do that by myself. But before, I would go do that by myself. I go get the coffee. I go do this. I set up the lights. I do all this shit. And then I just wasted. I couldn't fire off 5 emails that I needed to send out. And then I stayed up an extra 3 hours because of that. You know what I mean? And that shit, by delegating, being able to have a team that you can lean on, like there's success with that. Everyone grows with that. You know what I mean? If it's just me, it'll only go as far as it can go. But if we start delegating, building, this starts to grow, provides opportunity. People start to network. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's just, that's how this shit, that's the beauty of all this stuff.
I feel like part of this too is like we say strengthen, but I also mean like I talked about in my podcast a lot, like what I felt like what I did after college was like kind of close. Like you're in college, you have a ton of friends, or maybe you have you're in high school and you have all your homies, and everyone has different interests and they're going different directions than you. In college, they're going, or maybe even after college, or whatever part of your life, like there's people in your life that are going different ways. You're going this way and they're trying to do this other thing. Right. This person's just trying to work Monday through Friday, get off on Friday, crack the beer and watch the game on Saturday and then go back to work on Monday. Right. That's their life. And you're trying to do this other thing, right? And y'all aren't going the same way. And it's like, that might be your best friend. Cool. That's your best friend for life, whatever. But it's like, if there are people that are not helping you get somewhere, then you should consider who are the people that I need to be giving my energy to. The people that I'm going to, like, a big thing for me is like, if I say like, if I told you tomorrow, like, yo, I'm going to direct a feature film, right? And you looked at me and you told me no, that would be a red flag for me. Cause now I know I'm not getting it. I'm not trusting you with my energy because I have to protect my energy. You know what I mean? I have to protect my belief in myself. Right. And when I decided I wanted to do video for real after studying business, I was like, I'm not telling anyone. It's like the people who I'm going to tell are the people that I know are going to give it back to me. Right. That people that I can trust, you know? And it's like all the other people, it's like, cool, I'll say hi to you. We'll go have drinks or whatever. But it's like, I'm not going to be like letting you like penetrate my little fortress. You know what I mean? Right. I feel like that's important.
I think I remember, I don't know if it's Casey Neistat or some guru like that, but they had talked about being able to build, you know, your day, your schedule the things that matter the most. And the sad part is trimming fat. And even for you telling me, like when we got into the office and we're settling in, we're trying to rebrand and rebuild this podcast after touring and shit. And it was like, all right, let's do this. Then someone would be like, yo, I want to check out the new office, because we made it fucking very obvious that we got a new space. Yo, let me pull up. And it's all these people that I'm homies with. They're my friends, blah, blah, blah. We've done this or that together. Of course, I want you to come through. They'll come through. We sit here for 4 hours because it turns into a 4-hour long conversation. And then we didn't get any of the shit that we were supposed to get done during that 4 hours. And we just wasted time. And it kept happening. And people would ask me to do podcasts and do all these interviews and do all this shit. And it would just keep happening. And I felt like I needed to say yes. And you're like, yo, I think what you need to do is just say no to people. Like literally limit yourself to like, not doing those. You have to cut it because there's so much more shit that you can do during that free time that we need to be doing. And it was like, damn. And then it sucks because I hate having people hit me up like, yo, we should grab lunch. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, why do people ask me to get lunch? I don't get lunch with people. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's no time for fucking lunch. I eat lunch
in the desk.
On the desk, and I forget I'm eating it. So like I eat it twice. Like I eat half of it, and then I realize 30, 40 minutes later I didn't finish it. Like that's my reality. So I had to give up those opportunities because
it's people draining your energy.
But even though if it doesn't, it still could be. Way. Yeah. That's the hardest part, is that I'm like, but if I did get lunch with that person, who knows what would happen? Or if I didn't have that 4-hour long talk, maybe this thing wouldn't have happened. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Sometimes it is. But I used to think that if I didn't go out, I would fucking miss out on something on the weekend. And then I didn't go out. And guess who doesn't know if they missed something? Me, because I wasn't fucking there. And it doesn't fucking matter. There was like one time I wish I would have gone out, and it was when I was in college, and there was an Iowa State game, and there was this fucking chick named Vodka Sam, and she ran out on the fucking field, and I don't remember what the alcohol content was in her blood, but that's the one time I wish I would have gone to see that in real life. Because that was legendary as fuck.
Real deep cut story there.
She blew a 3.341. Bruh.
That's almost death, yo.
She was 22, and then she tweeted the whole thing while she was that faded, and she just goes, I went to jail, #YOLO. And she's in jail talking about this shit. Anyway. That's the only time I've ever wished. Fuck, I wish I wasn't a loser. Damn it, I wish I didn't stand and edit this fucking whatever the hell it was.
But for real, it's like there are certain people that, even if it's not negative, like you could love this person, but they may be draining your energy. They may be taking your time up. You know what I mean? And it's like figuring out when to say no to those things.
I'm showing a picture of
if you're on YouTube, you showed what this girl looks like.
This is what Vodka Sam looks like on YouTube. Yes, she's a fucking legend. I kept trying to get her to follow me on Twitter. She wouldn't do it. But yeah, Vodka Sam's not someone I need in my circle. You know what I'm saying? I think you guys get what we're saying. I think there's a lot of. It's a painful process to eliminate weak links. It is the same when you're creating documentaries and someone tells you to kill babies, and that means trim fat, things that you don't need, and make this project better. You have to think of it the same way. And we've talked about before, when that dude came in from Wolf of Wall Street and told me and Andrew we needed to kill babies in our Chris Brown documentary, and we thought our doc was a shit, and he's like, you can make this shorter and better. And we're like, fuck, what do we get rid of? We had to sit there and analyze it and figure it out, and then we trimmed, and now the doc is fucking fire, and I don't even remember what it was before. That's the same thing. I don't remember the quote-unquote good times I had with the people that gave me bad energy. Like the reasons why I thought I needed them to be my friend in the first place, I don't remember what the fuck they were, because it doesn't matter to me. If it mattered that much, they would have fought to come back to me too.
Or you would have missed them and you would have
or I would have gone back. Yeah. But if I'm not and I'm good and what the fuck does it matter? Just trim babies. Fuck it. Trim. You kill the fat. Like that's it. Trim fat, kill the babies. That's what I meant to say. But
anyways, I mean, in Discord, that's what this is about. You know, like we're trying to get people to like be, in an inner circle with everyone else. Yeah. And like pushing each other. Right. It's the power of this shit.
It is the power of this shit. All right. Thank you guys for listening. Sorry that we uploaded this late. Did we record one before and we deleted on accident?
No, it was... we're
having some file management issues
over here. Yeah, we're going to clean up our file management, but it ended up... Ben had to go out of town late last minute. Or not last minute. I guess those projects came up and...
Something happened.
And we weren't able to get up on time, but...
Well, I don't know what the schedule is for November yet because it's already starting off fucking hectic as shit, but we'll make sure we share the schedule for November ASAP and get you guys knowing when the live streams will happen and all that. So appreciate you all for supporting. For real. Means the world. Let us know if you have any feedback or anything that you guys want us to change in Patreon or Discord or whatever, and we're open to hearing it. And we love y'all. We'll talk to you later.